Welcome, beautiful souls, to the Ocean Moonflower Show. I'm your host, Ocean Moonflower, your guide through the cosmic waves of mysticism, tarot, and astrology. Today, we're diving deep into the celestial love story of Venus and Mars, the ultimate cosmic couple that shapes how we love, how we flirt, and how we connect. Whether you're single, in a relationship, or just curious about how the stars influence your heart, this episode will illuminate some fascinating truths. So grab your cup of coffee, get comfy, and let's explore the astrology of romance together. This podcast is also being sent out over the airways via YouTube if you prefer the video version, just to let you know. All right, let's talk about the basics of Venus and Mars in astrology. In astrology, Venus and Mars, they're like the yin and yang for romance. Venus, named after the goddess of love and beauty, is all about how we express our affection, what we find beautiful, and how we receive love. It governs our values and even the type of people that we're drawn to. Venus also rules our sense of pleasure, what makes us feel good, from relationships to art to the simple joys in life. On the flip side, we have Mars, the god of war. Mars represents passion, drive, and how we go after what it is that we desire. It's the planet that shows how we take action in love, how we pursue love, and what sparks our fire. Mars also governs our physical energy, our assertiveness, and even our sexual drive. It's the raw, primal energy that fuels our ambitions, both in love and in life. So if Venus is the art of love and Mars is the chase, together they create the dance of attraction and connection. Without Venus, love would lack sweetness and harmony. And without Mars, it would lack excitement and passion. Now let's take a little cosmic tour through the zodiac to see how Venus and Mars show up in each sign. Each sign brings a unique flavor to these planets, influencing how we express love and desire. Let's start with the planet Venus. In Taurus, Venus is in her home sign, loving comfort, sensual pleasures, and loyalty. This Venus loves slow and steady relationships where trust is built over time. Venus in Gemini, on the other hand, is flirtatious and witty and thrives on intellectual stimulation. They fall in love with words and ideas as much as they fall in love with people. Those with Venus in Cancer seek emotional security and nurturing, while Venus in Leo craves adoration, romance, and grand gestures. Venus in Virgo shows love through acts of service and attention to detail, while Venus in Libra values balance and beauty and harmony in relationships. Venus in Scorpio desires deep emotional connection and intensity. And Venus in Sagittarius seeks out fun and adventure and freedom in love. Those with Venus in Capricorn approach relationships with seriousness and long-term commitment. Venus in Aquarius loves uniqueness and intellectual bonds. And lastly, Venus in Pisces is a dreamy, compassionate, and deeply romantic placement. Moving on to Mars, the planet of action and desire. Mars in Aries is bold, direct, and fearless. This is the Mars of spontaneous passion and immediate attraction. Mars in Taurus tends to be more deliberate, preferring a slow burn that's steady and reliable. Those with Mars in Gemini pursue with words and mental stimulation. Mars in Cancer is protective and emotionally driven. Mars in fiery Leo seeks to impress and once again loves grand gestures, while Mars in Virgo takes a more thoughtful, precise approach to pursuit. Mars in Libra strives for balance and charm in their advances, while Mars in Scorpio brings intensity and magnetic allure. Mars in Sagittarius pursues with a sense of adventure and freedom. Mars in Capricorn likes disciplined and goal-oriented steps to their desires. Mars in Aquarius always goes to the unconventional and innovative, while Mars in Pisces is more gentle, imaginative, and emotionally driven. Understanding these 12 placements within Venus and Mars helps us to see the diversity in love languages and attraction styles. The fire brings passion and intensity. Earth brings stability and sensuality. Air signs bring intellectual connection. And water signs bring emotional depth. Now that we know how Venus and Mars behave in different signs, let's dive into compatibility. When it comes to relationships, Venus and Mars are our essential players. While the sun sign gives us a broad view of someone's personality, Venus and Mars reveal the nuances of romantic chemistry and sexual attraction. Venus governs what we need to feel loved and appreciated, while Mars shows us how to express desire and take action. When these planets are in harmony between two charts, the relationship flows naturally. For example, Venus in Libra and Mars in Gemini create a dynamic, playful connection. Both truly value communication and intellectual stimulation. But if Venus in Virgo meets Mars in Sagittarius, there may be some challenges. Virgo's practicality may clash with Sagittarius's need for freedom and adventure. Yet these differences can create exciting growth opportunities if both partners are willing to compromise. In a synastry chart, we look at the comparison of two birth charts. We look at how Venus and Mars interact across the charts, as well as how all the other planets interact across the charts. Conjunctions, trines, and sextiles between Venus and Mars typically indicate strong romantic and sexual attraction, while as squares and oppositions can bring tension, but they can also spice things up and challenge the relationship dynamic. Compatibility isn't always about finding someone who matches you perfectly. It's about understanding how your energies interact and learning how to navigate the differences. This awareness can deepen connections and foster greater understanding in our relationships. So how can we use this cosmic knowledge in our everyday lives? Understanding your Venus and Mars placements is like having a personalized love map. It reveals not only how you love and desire, but also how you can communicate and connect more effectively with other people. First, start by looking at your own chart. What sign is your Venus in? This will tell you what makes you feel loved and how you express affection. Are you drawn to stability, excitement, or deep emotional bonds? Now, check your Mars sign. How do you pursue what you want, whether professionally or personally? Are you bold and direct, or do you take a more subtle, nurturing approach? Knowing these placements can help you understand your relationship patterns. If you've ever wondered why you're attracted to certain types of people, or why some relationships feel effortless while others are challenging, Venus and Mars hold the key. For those in relationships, understanding your partner's Venus and Mars can transform how you connect. You'll gain insight into their love language and how they express desire, allowing you to meet their needs more effectively. It's also a powerful tool for self-reflection, helping you recognize what you truly want in a partner and how to attract relationships that align with your values and desires. Now let's address some potential questions you might have about Venus and Mars in astrology. First question, how do I find my Venus and Mars signs? This is a great question if you've been wondering. You can find your Venus and Mars signs by generating your natal chart using your birth date, your birth time, and your birth location. There are many free websites and apps where you can input this information, and they'll provide a detailed chart showing where Venus and Mars were when you were born. One of my personal favorites is astro-seek. So that's astro-seek.com. They are a very in-depth site. I love what they have available for you there. Second question, what if my Venus and Mars are in the same sign? If your Venus and Mars are in the same sign, your approach to love and desire is aligned. This means you likely experience consistency between how you give and how you receive love, and how you pursue relationships. It can create a strong sense of self-awareness in romantic connections. Question number 3. Can incompatible Venus and Mars signs ruin a relationship? Well, that's a great question. Incompatibility doesn't necessarily ruin a relationship. Challenging aspects can actually create dynamic, exciting connections if both partners are willing to understand and work through their differences. It's all about communication and mutual respect. Question number 4. How do retrogrades affect Venus and Mars? Oh my, retrogrades. Retrogrades always trip people up. Retrogrades are periods when a planet appears to move backward in the sky. They don't actually move backward, but they appear to. And when Venus goes retrograde, it can bring up some past relationship issues or old flames, encouraging reflection on love and your values. Whereas when Mars is retrograde, it can slow down our drive and our passion, leading us to reassess how we pursue our goals and desires. Other than that, you shouldn't see too much change as a result of these two retrogrades. One is reflective and the other makes you stop and reassess. And last question, are Venus and Mars the only planets that influence love? While Venus and Mars are key players in romance, other planets like the Moon, having to do with our emotions, Mercury, having to do with communication, and even Saturn has to do with our commitment. These all play significant roles in relationships. A holistic view of the natal chart gives the most comprehensive understanding of love dynamics between two people. And that wraps up our cosmic journey through the astrology of romance. I hope you're feeling inspired to explore your own Venus and Mars placements and see how they shape your love life. Remember, the universe has a beautiful way of guiding us, but the most important connection is the one you have with yourself. Thank you for tuning in to the Ocean Moonflower Show. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share with your fellow stargazers. Join me next week as we explore moon signs and emotional connections. It's going to be a deeply nourishing episode you won't want to miss. Until then, keep your heart open and your eyes on the stars. Sending you love and light. Mahalo.